Hello, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. Today we are going to make this adorable card using the Dragonfly Dreams stamp set and the detailed Dragonfly thinlits. And they are both shown on page 26 of the Occasions catalog from Stampin' Up. You can also purchase the two items together in a bundle, which will save you 10%. So that's great. Got the inside of the card too. We've got this cute little butterfly, and you can kind of see that just his body is yellow, and that's going to be one of the tips in this video, is to show you how to do that. So let's get started. Got my pieces and parts here. I've got a little scrap of paper that's 2.5 by 3 1/4, and that comes out of this pack of paper here, which is Festive Birthday, I think. Well, my cardboard thing is flipped over, so I can't see it, but I'm pretty sure it's Festive Birthday. So you get all kinds of fun patterns. I was really looking for something that was crushed curry. On my original card, I just used the Regals stack, the Designer Series paper stack of Regals, and it's got all the different colors in the Regals collection: polka dots, stripes, words, and flowers. But this time, I wanted to do something a little bit different, so we're going to use this piece. And we're going to layer that on a piece of black, and I will have the measurements of these pieces on my blog post for this card, so you can check that out at barbstamps.com. We're going to glue this together, so I'm just going to add some liquid glue to the back of this. Okay, and then we've got our piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to do a little bit of stamping down here at the bottom. I'm going to use our Memento Tuxedo black ink for this, and our greeting is "Thanks for the smile and everything else." We'll just get that inked up. I'm just going to kind of stamp it down here in the bottom corner. All right. Oh, I guess while I have the black out, we'll go ahead and stamp our little bee. So I've got a piece of Very Vanilla, and I've got my detailed outline of the bee here. And I just need his body on the vanilla, so I'm just going to stamp his body right there. I also have a little die cut here. This is the second smallest circle from the Stitched Shapes framelits. And I already die cut that out of crumb cake. Get our little bee right there in the middle of this. Okay, and then I also need some crushed curry, and I'm going to use the bold image of the bee. We're going to ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp that right over the top of this bee here, like so, because I'm just going to end up cutting his body out, so that's all I need on that. Oh, I actually need to stamp the inside of my card, so I've got a piece of crumb cake here that measures 5.5 by 8.5 to make a card base. And I've got my other stamp from this set, another one of the greetings. This one says, "You sure know how to make someone happy." So we're just going to open up the card, and we're just going to stamp this in the center here. It's always nice to have a greeting on the inside of your card. So I think that's all the black ink I need, all the crushed curry that I need. Okay, I've also got these two layers. You can see that my black is a little larger on this side. I did that on purpose. I just thought it kind of looked cool to have that little black poking out from the side. Use some more liquid glue and get that layered on. Okay, and I always, after I put glue on something, I always flip it over and press it from the back, just in case my ink is still wet. I don't want to mess it up, so there's a tip for you. All right, so for this piece, we need a knot, and I've got the gold natural trim ribbon. And this is another tip for you. This is how I like to tie my knots. I leave it on the spool, and I grab something. I only need a little section of ribbon, so I'm just going to grab my Stays On Cleaner here. And I'm going to tie my knot around my Stays On Cleaner bottle. So I've got my left over my right, and it goes under. Give that piece a little flip. Bring the right to the front. Fold the left over the top of it, through the hole, and then I pretty much only pull on the right side, manipulating the knot. Okay. And I can slide that off there and continue to manipulate that so it looks good. that looks pretty good. Get some scissors in here to cut this off. Little snip there, little snip there. And so now I have this nice loop. Oops, I'm going to cut that a little shorter. And so I want to tie it around or adhere it around. So I've got it off to the left side just a little bit. So I'm going to, basically this would be the middle. If I was going to cut it there, that would be the middle, but I want it a little bit over this way. So I'm going to cut it like at the quarter mark. Okay. So then we'll manipulate that a little bit more. Turn this over. And we're going to add some fast fuse to the back here. This is going to get our ribbon to stick. Okay. Get that on there. I want the knot a little bit over to the left side, like I said. So I'm going to hold the knot in my hand or press it down to the paper so it doesn't really move. And then I'll just wrap that to the back so it sticks to the fast fuse. Okay. All right, we've got that done. Now, our little bee portion, the body, we just need to trim that out. So let's cut that out. And I'm going to cut to the inside of these little fuzzy hairs here. And as I'm cutting, I'm not sure if you can notice this, but I'm moving the paper, not so much the scissors. I'm just kind of moving the paper with my left hand, and the scissors are just opening and closing. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're not trying to go around. I'm not really moving my right hand at all. I am simply just moving my scissors. That helps me cut. Fussy cut a lot easier. Another tip for you. Okay, so we've got the body. So let's just add a little bit of glue to that. Okay, and then we're going to attach that over the body that we stamped on the piece of crumb cake here. So it looks like he's got his cute little yellow body. Isn't he adorable? All right, I need a couple Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this little guy here. And then we're just going to set that right on this piece here. He's kind of angled that way because he's flying away. And now we're going to, well, we might as well just finish with some fast fuse here since we've got some fast fuse already on there from the ribbon. And this I'm actually centering on the vanilla piece. And then grab my liquid glue. We're going to get this on the very front of the card here. Get that centered. Okay. I'm not happy with this knot, so I'm going to pull that just a little bit so that it points up. That's much better. Okay, so we've got our grating inside. Now we need to get our little bee. So I'm going to cut the bee out of a piece of black cardstock. Here's my little bee die right here. Bring in my Big Shot. Okay, I've got my precision base plate, my thin die adapter, and my Big Shot platform all ready to go here. I've got my piece of black cardstock with my little bee, and we're just going to run that through. Get that out of the way. I'll get my foam pad and my brush. All right, I've got my foam pad and my die brush here, and I'm going to just kind of run over the little bee a little bit there. And there he is. A couple pieces that didn't pop out with the brush. I just take a piercing tool and poke them to the back, and they pop right out. One more tip for you. Okay, so now I need to get his body yellow, but I don't want his wings yellow. So you can see, if we do a close-up here, his body is yellow. So I've got a piece of vellum here and my negative space that I just trimmed out. And I'm just going to dab on some color to that. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back side. Make sure that's the back. Yep. Because I don't want to actually put it on the vellum because then it'll show through. So I'm just going to put a little bit there and a tiny little dot right up here at his head. And then I'm just going to lay that over the vellum. Press it on there. And then I'm just going to snip around the body. So I've got my paper snips here, and I'm just snipping around the body, underneath the black, just on the vellum, just cutting the vellum off. Oh goodness, I'm not even sure if I was in camera there. I got so engrossed in what I was doing. So there I have cut the vellum off. And now I'm just going to add some glue again, only where the cardstock parts are. Move this stuff out of the way. And I'm just going to sit him right down here at the bottom of the card. Oh my gosh, that is just so adorable. So there you have it. Pretty simple card using the Dragonfly Dreams Bundle. And I appreciate you watching my videos. I am so happy to do this stuff for you guys. If you really enjoyed the video and you did find something interesting in it, you learned a tip or trick, that's great. I'd appreciate a thumbs up for that. It just lets me know that you guys are liking what I do, and I'll just continue to do it. If you need any supplies to make your own Dragonfly cards or Bumblebee cards, you can get them at shoppingwithbarb.com. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.